This must be it. I gave my dad one of these for his birthday. Just what I thought. Now to try the basement. Now, where is that light switch? That's odd. I was sure the light switch was here. It looks like there is a lamp lit already. I can definitely see well enough to check things out. Hello?
My goodness, where did you come from?
Are you Mr. Reed?
Yes, but who are you?
Jane Darcy.
How did you get in here?
It's a bit of a story, but I think I have part of it figured out.
I don't know what to say. You are the first person I've seen in years and years. I'd given up hope of seeing anyone ever again.
How have you survived?
It's really strange. It's almost like time is standing still, and yet it's not. I never get hungry, I never get tired, but I can tell the years are falling away.
How do you spend your time?
It doesn't really seem to matter, no matter what I do. When I look away and look back, everything is back to the way it was before. I've been trying to finish this dollhouse forever, and yet as soon as I turn my back or look away, it's exactly as you see it now.
Why do you think this is happening?
I have one crazy idea, which is probably more proof of insanity than anything else, but I'm convinced that I am trapped in a painting created by Mr. Von Blood.
Actually, that is anything but insane. Or at this point, we are both suffering from the same insanity.
You actually believe me?
Yesterday, no. However, today, I am quite certain you are correct.
But how did you get in here?
I'm not certain, but I believe in your case it has to do with this mustache cup.
That's the mustache cup my wife and daughter gave me for my birthday.
I thought it would be the case, and I have good news for you, or at least a sort of good news.
Yes?
The good news would be I have spoken with both your wife and your daughter today.
Oh, what news? Are they quite old? Do they remember me?
Actually, that is the odd part of the news. It seems they are both trapped in this painting, your wife in the piano room and your daughter in her bedroom.
You mean they're here in this house?
Yes, I only spoke to them briefly, and I didn't fully understand what was happening at the time. But they are both holding up as well as can be expected.
That is news. Thank you so much. You are an angel for both visiting me and bringing me news of my family. But what does this have to do with my mustache cup?
That is a part of a bigger story. Let me tell you what I know, and perhaps between the two of us, we can figure a way to get your family out of the painting.
That would be wonderful.
Well, to start, you have been trapped here for decades, but time has continued on. Your house now belongs to some friends of mine, and I have come to visit them for Christmas.
I suspected it was near Christmas again, as everything always feels different this time of year.
I have found the painting of your house here in the basement and hung it in the foyer. Then later, I found your daughter's doll in the garden. When I brought it in the house, it appeared to be new. and I could hear your daughter in her room upstairs. I went upstairs, and we chatted in her room for a while and played a game of Visit of Santa Claus.
That was her favorite game.
I thought she was the daughter of some neighbors who had wandered over, and when I told her we should take her to her parents and stepped out of the room, she was gone. Next, I found an earring that you had given your wife, and when I brought that into the house, I heard your wife playing the piano.
She plays so beautifully.
I had a chance to visit with her briefly, and she also is convinced that you are trapped in the painting.
She is very gifted and intelligent. If that is her belief also, it must be true.
She told me that during the day, if you try to leave the room, you just find yourself back in the room where you started.
Exactly right.
She also said that at night the door is impassable.
Indeed, it is your worst nightmare to open the door at night.
When I met your wife, I didn't completely understand what was happening, but when I stepped through the door of the piano room, I found myself out of the painting and your wife was gone.
So you have found a way into the painting, but when you leave our rooms, you also leave the painting?
Exactly. The problem is, I have no idea how to get back unless I can keep finding personal objects that belong to your family.
But couldn't you simply take this cup with you and then return?
That is precisely what I was thinking.
Do we dare try it?
I can't see why not. Let's see what happens. Come, follow me up the stairs. Okay, take my hand. I am going to open the door.
Ready.
Here goes. Well, that doesn't work.
Yes, I have tried that 1,000,000 times.
All right, let me try it on my own this time. It's locked. Interesting.
That also doesn't seem to work.
With both your daughter and your wife, I had given them their keepsakes and had left without them. So, I suppose that is the only way for me to get out of the painting.
But is there no way to save us?
I have another idea that I would like your thoughts on.
If there is any way I can help.
Could you tell me about the terrors of the night that lie outside your door?
I have given that a lot of thought, and I believe they are the creation of Mr. von Blood.
How could that be?
Two things lead me to that conclusion. First, when he was doing the painting, he told me that to do a painting of a house correctly, it had to be done from the inside out.
What does that mean?
I asked the same question. He told me it was much like painting a person. The painter must understand anatomy to paint a human correctly, and so a painter must paint a house in much the same way.
I suppose that is reasonable. But what does that have to do with the terrors of the night?
One thing I distinctly remember is Mr. von Blood steering the conversation over dinner on several occasions to the topic of each person's greatest fear in life. Mine was freezing to death, my wife's was drowning, and my daughter feared the shadows. At the time, I thought it was a bit eccentric, but it did liven up the dinner conversation.
That is strange, but please continue.
It is my belief that he weaved those terrors into the painting as he created each layer, step by step, layer by layer.
If that is the case, it is both demented and diabolical. And what is the second part of your conclusions?
That stems from the fact that our being trapped in the painting seemed to occur simultaneously with his signing of the work. He was from the Netherlands originally, and his name, Tovenaar van Bloed, if I remember my Dutch correctly, is Sorcerer of Blood.
Do you really think his name is related?
I don't know what to think. All I know is I am here, my family is not with me, and as you say, they are also living a life of timeless existence. What am I to think?
I really have no answer.
Nor I.
That being said, tell me more about the terrors you encounter at night when you open the door.
It is far different than in the day. Instead of finding myself back here, I am staring into a barren, frozen landscape.
That may be the key to this. During the day, no matter what action is taken, the result is the same. You are here. At night, however, there is an alternative, the one that leads to certain destruction.
Yes, exactly.
But here is the difference. While what you have described is your worst fear, it holds no terror for me. If I am here with you, we may find a way out.
Do you really think so?
I believe it may be so, but there are several things I need to check before we make the attempt. In all cases, I will find something of yours so that I can return.
In that, I may be able to be of some help.
That would be excellent.
When we first moved into the house, my wife gave me a pocket knife with my initials inlaid on the side. As a matter of superstition, I gave her a penny for the knife. That evening we were in the garden in the back of the house next to that big oak tree. I carved a circle on the trunk, and in that the initials of my wife, my daughter, and myself. Just as I was finishing, we heard some friends calling from the front of the house, and I stuck the knife into the fork of the branches just above the carving. I had completely forgotten about that incident until now, but with any luck, that knife may still be there.
That is excellent news. Now, I really should go and prepare things so that when I return, we can make an attempt at your freedom.
As difficult as it is to say, only return if your preparations lead you to believe success is truly possible. I would not want your fate on my conscience were things to go badly.
We will find a way. We will not be defeated, and I will return. That is truly unbelievable. However, if anyone would know about terror and cursings, who better than those who have spent years on the sea? So, we will see what Captain Jack and Francois have to say about this. Perhaps there is another bell that Francois knows about for just such an occasion. This looks like the carving Mr. Reed was talking about. Yes, the initials he carved are still here. How sweet. Now where would that knife be? I'm going to need a ladder to look. Francois?
Yes, Missy?
Do we have a ladder I could use?
Sure thing. Can I help you?
There's a story I've heard that leads me to believe that there may be a knife where the tree forks up there, and I'd like to find out if it's true.
You don't need a ladder for that, Missy. I'll take a look for you right now.
Do you see anything?
No, not a thing.
Well, I suppose it was too much to hope for.
Are you sure you have the right tree?
Yes, unfortunately, I'm sure.
Well, better luck next time. Wait a minute. I think I do see something.
What?
Just a minute. I'll need to use my knife to dig it out.
Anything yet?
Yes, it is a penknife. I guess the story you heard was true.
Amazing!
Here you go. Looks like it's been there a while.
Well, if the story is true, it's been decades. Yes, here are the initials. This is the one I was looking for.
Glad I could help.
Yes, you've been a very big help.
Captain Jacques and I were planning on fixing steaks for dinner. Are you about ready to eat?
Yes, I'm famished.
Well, let's go. I think Captain Jacques is already waiting for us.
Sounds wonderful. Did you just open that door?
Mais oui.
But I thought it was stuck.
No, it opens just fine.
But what about the pry bar to open it?
I suppose you could use a pry bar, but I prefer the doorknob.
Oh, whatever. Let's go eat. Hello, Captain Jack.
I hope you're hungry. We have a great sea dinner for us this evening.
That sounds delicious, but I thought you were planning steaks.
That's right. I have the steaks right here, and the potatoes are already in the oven.
But there's no seafood?
No, never touch the stuff. Unless we run into stores and are desperate, you'll have the same dinner we enjoy at sea, on all our voyages.
Steaks it is.
I usually cook the steaks, they are my specialty.
Have you cooked a lot of steaks?
Aye, he has, both at sea and at restaurants.
You've been a chef in a restaurant?
Certainly, whenever we had a layover between voyages, I would work in some of the best restaurants as a chef.
Really?
Yes, I particularly like the restaurants in Bremerhaven.
Bremerhaven? You worked as a chef in Bremerhaven?
Exactly, we were either hauling immigrants out of Bremerhaven or feeding them.
Immigrants?
Aye, millions of them. In fact, Bremerhaven was called the Outer Harbor of New York. Fine times those were. Lots of money and some of the best restaurants in the world. So before we go out back, little missy, how do you want your flesh? Bloody, normal, or through?
What?
I always give my guests a choice with their flesh. Some prefer bloody because it's quicker. Others look for normal, but that takes a bit longer. And of course, those who choose through will certainly find themselves done in well. Oh wait, after all that talk of Bremerhaven, you have to pardon my German. Wie mögen Sie Ihr Fleisch? Blutig, Anglais, oder durch? What I meant was, how do you want your steak? Rare, medium, or well done?
Oh, I thought for a moment there you might have been talking about something else. I'll take mine. Oh, I suppose rare.
Coming up.
This may sound strange, but have you ever heard of someone being trapped in a painting?
Not strange at all. It's an old curse. Last time I encountered it was when we were in port in Amsterdam.
Really?
Aye, it was quite a while ago, but there was this painter fella who had fallen in love with an opera singer, and she spurned him.
This was in Amsterdam?
Aye, it was. Well, the painter evidently knew some way to paint a picture so that when the time came, the person who looked at the painting would be sucked into it and trapped. Like I said, been going on forever.
I've never heard of this.
Well, you've been sheltered. Being at sea, we encounter all kinds of hoodoo and voodoo and stuff like that there. Exactly, that painter is said to have been able to even link his paintings so that the people trapped in them were all connected up. Aye, he said he learned the curse when he was traveling in Mesopotamia, doing where those Sumer ruins are.
Didn't anyone try and stop him?
Couldn't. They never had any proof. You know, no bodies, just disappearances. But that didn't mean anything. Everyone knew what he was up to. That guy traveled a lot. Every time things started getting hot for him one place, he'd just move on.
Did anyone ever get out of one of his paintings?
I heard of one guy who was supposed to have escaped, but he kept raving about his worst fear and he wasn't much good for anything, so nobody paid much attention to him.
Did he say how he got out?
Not really, just kept saying if you can find the painting, you can leave. Like I said, never made any sense.
Have you ever heard of a fear of shadows?
Of course, in the south of France, everyone knows to watch for the places where the shadows grow together, and that the forms of the shadow people are shaped from the darkness.
What does that mean?
Just that. When the shadows grow together, they can reach out and take you. It's true in other places too, even sometimes on ship. That's why we have these hurricane lanterns like this one.
Is that really necessary?
Only if you are close to where the shadows haunt. They can blow out candles. You need one of these lanterns if you're going to drive them away. But you have to be careful if you are out at night. Don't just put the lantern on high and think you are safe.
This is rather hard to believe.
Believe it. I have known those who didn't, and they are not here to argue about it anymore.
Thank you so much. It seems you have a solution for everything.
Sure, Captain Jacques is even a pretty fair dentist. Comes in mighty handy sometimes when you are at sea. I've pulled a few teeth in my time. Got a barrel full of them back home.
A barrel?
Absolutely. Even have the latest extracts here with me. If your teeth start hurting, don't hesitate to let me know. I can take care of it for you.
I'll keep that in mind.
Sure, always glad to help. By the way, I once had this harpoon stuck in a mate's leg and had to pull that out too. Afterwards, he was none too careful with it.
I can imagine.
Here, take it and you can see how it works when you have a chance. Just make sure not to pull that trigger unless you mean it.
Those steaks are starting to smell great.
They should. I picked them out myself. That's the most important part of cooking, making the right selections. He's even good at making dried beef. Great stuff if you're trapped and running short on food. Certainly nothing better than Jacques beef to get you through. Just a moment, I think I have some over here. Yes, this is it. This will last you days. Here, take it. You can try it tomorrow.
Did you make this yourself?
Certainly, you will find nothing better. With one of my special sauces, it tastes like a bit of heaven. You could serve it in any restaurant.
We'll have to try that sometime.
Certainly, you will find nothing better. With one of my special sauces, it tastes like a bit of heaven. You could serve it in any restaurant.
We'll have to try that sometime.
It looks like our steaks are just about done. Let's eat.
Those steaks were amazing. Francois was not exaggerating when he said he was an excellent cook. I'd better give them time to get to bed before I check on the basement. I hope this knife does the trick. I think I'll set my alarm for 2 hours from now. That way, I'll be sure not to run into Francois or Captain Jack. That looks right. Now I can try and get a couple hours of sleep before my adventure.
Miss Jane! Miss Jane! Wake up! Wake up! I saw you go to bed, but I hid behind the chair. I was afraid if you saw me, you would leave. But I got so lonesome, and you looked so pretty laying there asleep, I thought I'd take the chance to wake you up and see if you'd like to talk.
I'm glad you woke me. I was hoping to see you again.
Did you come to play with me again?
I'd love to do that, but I've talked to your mom, and she wants me to bring you to her.
But I can't leave this room. Are you sure you don't want to just play a game?
Don't you want to see your mom?
More than anything, but you can't open the door at night.
What happens if we open the door?
You wouldn't like it. Let's just play a game.
Could I at least crack the door and peek out?
If you must, but I'm going to get into bed and hide under the covers.
That sounds like an excellent idea.
Okay, I'm ready, but you're not going to like it.
What won't I like?
Damn.
Don't worry, I'll be careful. I'll just peek. It is awfully dark out there.
Bring us the girl.
What?
We don't want you, Jane. We only want the girl.
What was that?
That was the shadow people. I told you not to open the door.
Are they always there?
Only at night. But they are always there at night. We just can't go out that door.
Wouldn't you like to see your mom?
More than anything.
Then we have to try.
Okay, I'll go with you, but I am so afraid.
Let's light this lantern with the candle.
What is that?
It is called a hurricane lantern. It was given to me by a friend of mine who is a sailor. It is designed not to go out even in a storm.
You are so lucky.
But we have to be careful not to burn up all the fuel. So stay close to me at all times.
Welcome to our domain. You can never escape. Give us the girl.
I'm so scared.
Don't worry. As long as we have this lantern, they can't hurt us.
But the lantern won't last forever, and it will take that long for you to escape. Give us the girl, and we'll show you the way out. If you don't give us the girl, you will be trapped here forever. Before we are done, you will be begging us to take you.
It seems the darkness is creeping in on us.
Your lantern is low on fuel. As we press around you, you will have to turn it up. And then we will take her when it goes out, and you will be left in the dark all alone.
It seems so dark.
us the little girl, and you can go free.
It seems so dark.
Nancy, remember to stay close.
I wish we had stayed in my room. Let's go back and we can play a game.
It's stuck.
No one escapes us.
It's stuck. It's stuck. It's stuck.
It seems so dark.
Wrong. Give us the little girl, and you can go free.
Nancy, remember to stay close.
Do you know where we are? I wish we had stayed in my room.
I hope so.
Let's go back and we can play a game.
No one escapes us.
It seems the darkness is creeping in on us.
Do you know where we are?
I hope so. I think we've been this way before.
Do you know where we are?
I hope so. Will this darkness never end?
Never, ever. The darkness is with mankind always.
What are those screams?
Did you think you were the only ones here? Soon, that is the sound you will make. They all scream in the end.
I hope we have enough light to get out of here.
Don't listen to them. They always say that sort of thing. Don't listen.
You will never leave. We are your constant companions now.
Come on, let's keep going. I think we've been this way before.
Do you know where we are?
I hope so. think this is a dead end.
Do you know where we are?
I hope so. I think we've been this way before.
Your lantern is low on fuel. As we press around you, you will have to turn it up. And then we will take her when it goes out, and you will be left in the dark all alone.
Here, give this to Mum. She might need it. What do we do now?
Just stare at the painting.
What will that do?
Just stare.
You're back. How did you get here?
So much has happened since I last saw you. I don't know where to start. I don't know how much time we have, but I have seen your husband who is trapped in the basement as you are trapped here.
That is at least news. You can't imagine all the thoughts that have crossed my mind over the years.
He agrees with you. He also thinks your family is trapped in the painting created by Mr. von Blood.
Have you seen my daughter again?
Yes, I believe she is now out of the painting.
That is excellent news.
But there is more that I don't know than I do. The only way out is to face what lies beyond that door. It seems that von Blood encapsulated each of your worst fears into the painting.
I can attest to that. I am afraid in my case that I am forever condemned to remain here. I have seen what lies beyond that door, and we could never survive what awaits.
Your husband tells me your greatest fear is drowning. Do you know what might have happened to cause this fear?
I believe it started when I was a little girl and we were at my aunt's camp in Maine. My sister and I had walked down to the lake, and I ran out to the end of the dock. My sister was looking at something on the shore when I slipped on something wet and fell in. All I remember was the water closing in around me, suffocating me. It was cold, so very cold. I couldn't scream, and I could feel all the sunfish biting my toes and my ankles and my legs. I could just see my sister looking down at me from the dock, frantically trying to reach me. Then I don't remember much until I woke up later in the camp. Ever since then, I've been terrified of drowning and monsters in the sea.
Yes, an experience like that could definitely leave a mental scar that would be hard to overcome. Still, I believe we can make it together, but you have to choose between your fear and your family.
If you lead, I will follow, but if things go badly, save yourself. I couldn't live with your fate on my conscience.
What happens when we leave this room?
Stand on the threshold, but go no further.
Interesting. Have you ever tried actually stepping through the doorway?
No, why would I? I can't swim, but if I could swim, where would I go?
I have an idea. Let's step through together and see what happens. Something of a leap of faith.
I am with you.
Give me your hand so we're not separated. There's no going back. It looks like we can at least row, but where do we go?
I have rowed a little when I was a child, but I was always afraid of drowning.
If we just had some idea where we were.
What was that?
It sounded like a fish, a very large one.
There it is again.
It sounds like it's coming from behind us.
I think you're right.
Unless you want to trade places, I think you'd better try rowing.
I'll do my best.
You're doing very well, but I think we are being overtaken.
We have to do something. We can't outrow it. What is that?
A gift from a friend. I do not believe Mr. Blue had anticipated Captain Jack.
Captain Jack?
Yes, a real force of nature. I'll have to introduce you to him someday.
I'll look forward to it if we get out of this.
Keep rowing, and I'll take my best shot. I don't know if I hit him or not, but at least he's scared off.
This experience is so much like my greatest fear, it is uncanny. Except you and a harpoon were never there to change the outcome.
Well, a change of outcome is definitely good in this case. Now, if we just knew which way to go. At last! Something I know! That's the sound of a buoy indicating we are getting near shore.
Are you certain?
Absolutely. Just keep rowing and you should see it very soon. From the sound, it's not too far. There's the buoy! Keep rowing! We're almost there! If you're too tired, it's probably safe to change places now.
No, I'm doing fine. After that creature, I'm far too excited to just sit, so I think I'd rather row than watch.